Imagine a life where respect, peace, and fulfillment are not just ideals, but tangible qualities cultivated through daily practice. Buddhist teachings, with their timeless wisdom, offer us tools to transform ourselves. By embracing mindfulness, compassion, patience, gratitude, and humility, we can navigate life's challenges with resilience and purpose. In a world that often pulls us toward material success and hurried living, these principles encourage us to look within, discover inner peace, and radiate kindness and respect. Today, let's journey into these teachings, not as abstract spiritual concepts but as practical, empowering guides that can elevate how we live, relate, and thrive in every interaction. Through mindfulness, we ground ourselves in the present moment. With compassion, we build deep connections, and with humility and patience, we soften the edges of our ego, allowing wisdom to guide our actions. Let's explore how these values can lead us to a life of calm, purpose, and enduring respect. 1. Mindfulness in every moment. Expanding mindfulness into various facets of life allows it to become a foundational tool for navigating stress, relationships, and personal growth. Mindfulness isn't simply a tool for meditation. It's a practice that, once honed, touches every aspect of existence. The Buddha often highlighted the importance of right mindfulness as part of the Noble Eightfold Path. Early practitioners in monastic settings would dedicate each day to mindful activities, from sweeping the ground to preparing food. This continuous awareness was seen as a path to enlightenment, allowing each task, no matter how mundane, to become an opportunity for insight and transformation. Beyond mindful walking or dishwashing, mindfulness can be woven into professional settings, parenting, and even decision-making. Imagine a parent who, instead of reacting out of frustration, pauses, takes a breath, and listens deeply to their child's needs. This momentary pause, grounded in mindfulness, can foster a relationship built on mutual respect and understanding. Mindfulness can also help us make more thoughtful, compassionate decisions in challenging situations, contributing to a fulfilling life filled with meaningful connections. Spend 5 minutes each day journaling about moments where you noticed mindful awareness, or the lack of it. Over time, this practice will help bring more consistency to mindfulness, making it a natural part of how you approach your day-to-day life. 2. Deepening compassion in all relationships. Compassion transcends being merely kind. It's a practice of cultivating deep empathy and a readiness to alleviate suffering wherever we find it, even within ourselves. In the Jataka tales, a collection of stories from the Buddha's previous lives, compassion often appears as a central virtue. For example, in one story, the Buddha-to-be as a compassionate king provides sanctuary to a flock of pigeons, caring for them despite their disruptive presence. These tales reinforce compassion's value as an act of courageous understanding and generosity, regardless of circumstances. Compassion is especially powerful in moments of conflict. Consider someone in a strained relationship, whether with a family member, friend, or colleague. Instead of approaching the situation with an intent to win or prove their point, practicing compassion allows for understanding the underlying pain or fear that may be causing the conflict. This shift often brings a sense of peace and softens hardened hearts, paving the way for reconciliation and mutual respect. Each evening, reflect on one act of compassion you engaged in or witnessed. Write about how it impacted you and others, noticing any patterns in how compassion shapes your relationships. 3. Embracing impermanence as a path to freedom. Impermanence, or anicca in Buddhist terms, is a profound truth that all things are in a constant state of flux. By embracing impermanence, we cultivate resilience, finding freedom from the anxiety tied to clinging, and learning to appreciate the beauty in each passing moment. In the Buddha's time, monks and laypeople alike were encouraged to contemplate the nature of impermanence as a central practice. This contemplation helped practitioners recognize that nothing, no joy, sorrow, person, or thing lasts forever. The Buddha's own enlightenment under the Bodhi tree was rooted in the realization that suffering arises from clinging to the impermanent. Recognizing life's transient nature was a gateway to awakening, an inner peace. In contemporary society, there is often a strong desire for permanence. We seek stability in our jobs, relationships, homes, and even our identities. Yet, by insisting on permanence, we set ourselves up for suffering, resisting life's natural ebb and flow. Embracing impermanence can reduce our tendency to dwell on past disappointments or future anxieties, fostering a deeper, more fulfilling relationship with the present. When faced with a major life transition, such as the end of a relationship or a career shift, embracing impermanence can alleviate much of the pain associated with change. For instance, someone who has recently ended a long-term relationship might feel overwhelmed by loss. Instead of viewing this change as an end, they can begin to see it as part of life's natural flow, focusing on the new opportunities and growth that may arise. This perspective opens the door to healing and fosters a sense of acceptance and peace. Each day, take a few minutes to observe the world around you through the lens of impermanence. Notice the subtle changes, such as the passing clouds, the aging of leaves, or even the rise and fall of your own breath. Reflect on how impermanence shapes every moment, from the most mundane to the most significant events in life. Gradually, this practice will cultivate a more profound acceptance of life's natural rhythm. Consider the life of Steve Jobs, who often spoke about how facing his mortality motivated him to live more fully. Recognizing the impermanence of life allowed him to pursue his passions without fear, embracing change and innovation even in the face of failure. His story illustrates how embracing impermanence empowers us to live courageously, focusing on what truly matters. 4. The freedom of non-attachment. Non-attachment, or upekkha, is not about detaching from life's joys or relationships, but about freeing ourselves from dependency on external sources of happiness. Non-attachment teaches us to experience life with open hands, cultivating inner peace and clarity. In Buddhist teachings, non-attachment is seen as an essential step toward enlightenment. Ancient Stoic philosophy shares a similar outlook, teaching that while we can enjoy life's pleasures, we should not depend on them for fulfillment. This balance allows us to live joyfully without being controlled by desires or fears of loss. Modern minimalism resonates with non-attachment, suggesting that by letting go of excess, we create space for what truly matters. However, Buddhist non-attachment goes beyond possessions, extending to beliefs, expectations, and emotional dependencies. By releasing the need to control or own outcomes, we gain clarity and freedom, enhancing our capacity to live meaningfully. Imagine a person pursuing a challenging career goal. While ambition can be a positive force, tying one's self-worth to achieving this goal can create stress and disappointment. By practicing non-attachment, they can shift their focus from solely achieving the goal to embracing the journey. This mindset cultivates resilience, allowing them to adapt and grow, regardless of the outcome. Choose one expectation you have, perhaps in a relationship or a personal goal. Reflect on how clinging to this expectation affects your well-being. Practice softening the grip by reminding yourself that outcomes are not fully within your control. Observe any changes in your peace of mind as you release the need for specific results. Athletes often illustrate the power of non-attachment. The renowned basketball player Michael Jordan practiced non-attachment by focusing on effort rather than results. His success was driven by a love for the game, rather than a need for validation. This approach allowed him to perform at his best without being hindered by the fear of failure. 5. Right speech for building respectful connections. Right speech, part of the Noble Eightfold Path, emphasizes communication that is honest, kind, and beneficial. Practicing right speech builds trust, respect, and deeper connections with others, transforming the way we relate to the world. In early Buddhist communities, speech was closely monitored, as words were seen as a reflection of inner intentions. Practitioners were encouraged to speak only when words would benefit others, fostering harmony and unity within the Sangha community. This discipline taught them to approach communication as a sacred act, one that could either harm or heal. In today's world, the concept of right speech extends to digital interactions, such as social media and emails. Online communication is often fast and reactive, sometimes leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. Practicing right speech in digital spaces can transform these interactions, turning potentially divisive moments into opportunities for empathy and understanding. Consider a situation where someone disagrees with a friend or colleague. Instead of responding impulsively, they can practice right speech by listening to the other's perspective first, then expressing their own views calmly and respectfully. This approach promotes a culture of understanding and respect, even in challenging conversations. Set an intention to practice right speech by actively listening during conversations. Avoid interrupting and focus on understanding the other person's words and emotions. Reflect on how this approach impacts your interactions and relationships, and notice any shift in the way others respond to you. The Dalai Lama is known for his compassionate and respectful communication, even with those who oppose him. His commitment to right speech has allowed him to foster connections across political divides, demonstrating that respectful, honest speech can create bridges even in the most challenging situations. 6. Patience as a tool for resilience. Patience, or khanti, is a virtue that allows us to endure difficulties without anger, helping us navigate life's challenges with a calm, open heart. Patience creates a foundation of resilience, allowing us to face adversity with strength and composure. In the story of Kisa Gautami, a woman who lost her child approached the Buddha for help. He told her to collect a mustard seed from a household that had not experienced loss. After visiting many homes, she realized that suffering is universal. Through this journey, she cultivated patience and acceptance, finding peace in understanding that life's difficulties are part of the human experience. In a world of instant messaging and fast results, patience is often undervalued. Yet, practicing patience can enhance our relationships, reduce stress, and increase our capacity for empathy. Patience helps us appreciate the process rather than rushing toward outcomes, fostering a more fulfilling and balanced life. Consider someone who feels frustrated waiting in line or in traffic. Instead of reacting with irritation, they can use this time to practice mindful breathing, observing their emotions without judgment. Over time, this practice strengthens patience, allowing them to remain calm even in more significant challenges. Each day, find a moment to practice patience, whether during a delay, a slow task, or a conversation that requires active listening. Notice the sensations that arise and allow yourself to be fully present without rushing. Reflect on how this practice influences your overall resilience and stress levels. Consider the journey of Yo-Yo Ma, the world-renowned cellist. His mastery of the cello is a testament to patience. Despite his natural talent, he dedicated thousands of hours to practice, honing his skills through repetition and patience. His story illustrates that true excellence and resilience are born from patient dedication rather than quick success. 7. Gratitude as a path to contentment. Gratitude is not merely a reaction to receiving something favorable. It's a profound shift in perspective that teaches us to appreciate life as it is. This practice fosters a sense of contentment, reducing our habitual desire for more and allowing us to savor the present moment fully. Living with gratitude opens our hearts, invites joy into everyday experiences, and connects us deeply with others and the world around us. In Buddhist texts, gratitude is often intertwined with the practice of mindfulness. Early practitioners were encouraged to appreciate the four blessings: the gift of life, the beauty of nature, the kindness of others, and the guidance of teachers. This recognition of blessings served as a daily reminder to honor the world and remain humble. Today, research consistently shows that people who practice gratitude report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. Gratitude helps us break free from the constant cycle of wanting, teaching us that joy comes not from acquiring more but from valuing what we already have. While gratitude can be transformative during difficult times, it also enhances positive experiences. For example, when celebrating a personal achievement, such as a promotion or a significant milestone, expressing gratitude for the people who supported us or for the opportunities we've had can deepen our joy and keep us grounded. To deepen your practice of gratitude, try keeping a gratitude journal where you reflect on 3 aspects of life each day. Each week, revisit these entries to observe any shifts in your mood or outlook. Notice if you're becoming more content, resilient, and fulfilled as gratitude becomes a more natural part of your day-to-day life. Consider the story of Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who taught the practice of mindful breathing as an expression of gratitude for each breath. Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings emphasize how gratitude can arise from the simplest elements of life, like the breath, even in the midst of turmoil. His work reminds us that gratitude need not be grandiose. It is the act of acknowledging the gift of each moment. 8. Humility as a source of true wisdom. Humility is the cornerstone of personal growth and wisdom, allowing us to remain open to learning, not only from others but from life's experiences. A humble person acknowledges that they don't have all the answers, creating a mindset receptive to change and insight. This openness fosters genuine curiosity, builds deeper relationships, and brings us closer to true wisdom. In Buddhist teachings, the story of Sariputta, one of the Buddha's foremost disciples, beautifully illustrates humility. Known for his profound wisdom, Sariputta remained humble and respectful, often learning from even the youngest novices. His example highlights that true wisdom is accompanied by humility, as it allows us to see the value in all perspectives. Humility encourages us to approach others without judgment, valuing their experiences as equally valid and meaningful. In our careers, practicing humility might mean acknowledging the contributions of our team, or in family settings, recognizing the wisdom of even the youngest members. Leaders who practice humility foster a collaborative environment. Rather than imposing their views, they encourage others to contribute ideas, creating a sense of trust and respect. For instance, a manager might regularly ask for feedback from their team, openly acknowledging areas where they can improve. This approach not only strengthens relationships, but also creates an environment where everyone feels valued. At the end of each day, reflect on interactions where you practiced humility. Was there a moment when you chose to listen rather than speak? Or a time when you acknowledged someone else's contribution? Observing these moments strengthens the practice of humility, making it a natural response in daily interactions. Consider Mahatma Gandhi, who embodied humility despite his monumental impact. Gandhi's simple lifestyle, choice of clothing, and genuine care for people showcased his humility. His life teaches us that humility doesn't diminish one's strength but enhances it, allowing us to connect with others on a profound level. 9. The joy of generosity. Generosity, or dana, in Buddhism is seen as a way to cultivate selflessness and compassion. It's not just about giving material resources but also about offering time, attention, and love. Practicing generosity opens the heart, creating joy and a sense of interconnectedness with others. Generosity transforms not only the recipient but also the giver, nurturing a life filled with meaning and purpose. The Buddha taught that the gift of the Dharma surpasses all gifts, highlighting that teaching others or guiding them spiritually is the greatest form of generosity. In Buddhist monasteries, monks and nuns often dedicate their lives to serving communities, offering teachings, guidance, and support without expecting anything in return. This selflessness inspires profound respect and gratitude within the community. In today's world, generosity is often associated with monetary donations. However, true generosity extends to giving time, compassion, and understanding. It could mean offering a listening ear to someone in need, or taking a moment to encourage a struggling friend. Such acts of kindness create a ripple effect, spreading joy and compassion far beyond the initial act. Generosity can be practiced in small ways every day. At work, offer to help a colleague who is overwhelmed with tasks. At home, take the time to cook a meal for a loved one. These acts may seem small, but they create a culture of giving and receiving, enriching the lives of both the giver and the receiver. Each week, plan an act of generosity. This could be as simple as writing a kind note to someone, donating time to a community project, or offering assistance without expecting anything in return. Reflect afterward on how this act made you feel and how it impacted the recipient, reinforcing the joy and connection generosity brings. Mother Teresa is a beautiful example of boundless generosity. She dedicated her life to serving the poorest of the poor, offering love and care to those whom society had forgotten. Her selflessness and unwavering compassion remind us that generosity is about giving fully of ourselves, not only when it is convenient or easy, but as a genuine expression of compassion and love. 10. Forgiveness for inner freedom. Forgiveness is a transformative practice that releases us from resentment and anger, allowing us to move forward with peace and compassion. Holding on to grudges weighs down the heart, whereas forgiveness opens the path to healing, emotional freedom, and deeper compassion for ourselves and others. In the story of Angulimala, a serial murderer who later became one of the Buddha's disciples, the Buddha's forgiveness transformed a life marked by violence into one of profound peace. Angulimala's story illustrates the Buddhist perspective that forgiveness is not only about releasing others, but also about liberating ourselves from the pain of holding on to resentment. Forgiveness is often seen as a gift to others, but it is equally a gift to ourselves. Holding on to resentment creates a cycle of suffering within, whereas forgiveness releases us from this cycle, fostering emotional healing and peace. Even forgiving ourselves for past mistakes can be a powerful step toward personal growth and self-compassion. Begin the journey of forgiveness by acknowledging any resentment you may be holding. This could be a difficult relationship or even anger toward yourself. For past actions, practice empathy by trying to understand the other person's perspective, or acknowledging your own humanity. This act of understanding is often the first step toward genuine forgiveness. Each day, take a few moments to reflect on any lingering grudges or resentments. Ask yourself how holding on to these emotions affects your well-being. Then, consciously choose to release one small resentment each day, noticing how this practice lightens your heart and mind over time. Nelson Mandela, after spending 27 years in prison, chose to forgive his captors and work toward reconciliation rather than revenge. His capacity for forgiveness transformed South Africa, proving that forgiveness is a powerful force for healing, peace, and transformation. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that each of these ingredients, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, and turmeric, offers more than just flavor or health benefits. They invite us to slow down, to savor, and to reconnect with the present moment. They encourage us to find balance in our lives, to let go of what doesn't serve us, and to embrace the natural flow of life. So the next time you prepare your tea or coffee, allow each ingredient to be a gentle guide toward mindfulness. Let each sip remind you of your resilience, your inner harmony, and the beauty of living fully in the present. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. May your cup always be filled with warmth, your heart with gratitude, and your life with the gentle wisdom of each passing moment. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and share it with others who may benefit from these insights. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. For more content like this, we dive deep into mindfulness, wellness, and the ancient wisdom that can transform everyday life. Also, be sure to check out our other videos where we continue exploring the practices and philosophies that can bring balance and peace to your life. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.